Hey there, what is up everyone? How we doing? This is Adam here from The Freight. I hope you guys are all having an awesome day, and I am coming at you with another video that was super fun to do because of the listening involved with this one. Well, first and foremost, welcome. Welcome here if it's your first time, welcome back if it's not. Take a second and like and subscribe. Goes a long way to supporting what I'm doing here, and just love interacting with more people anyway. So there's been a lot of new people coming on board, and I love to see it. And let's get right into it. This is a really fun one that I'm excited about. In this video, you may have seen I recently scored. I did a video maybe a couple videos ago. I talked about my Rhode Island trip and some scores that I had there. While I was there, I scored a George Piros cut of Zeppelin 2 from '77 and a Robert Ludwig cut OG. So this is a specialty pressing. Two amazing records, highly regarded pressings of this record. You probably already know the RL story. Robert Ludwig, obviously an incredible mastering engineer, did it for decades and decades. When the story is, very brief version, executive at Atlanta got it in his office for when the Robert Ludwig cut. I think his granddaughter put it on her little kind of BS turntable. It skipped all around because it was so loud and dynamic. And he's like, oh, get it off, pulled it, whatever. A good amount got out by that point, but it was the versions that came out for Zeppelin 2 after that were really subpar. Can't tell you how many Zeppelin 2s I've gone through just searching for a decent copy. Obviously ones that weren't RL or Piros cuts. But they're just a lousy, veiled sounding record. Anyway, that brings us to they're so sought after now. A lot of people know about them and whatever, but they do sound magic. They do sound special, especially when you've heard the BS that was what they put out after that. It's garbage. It's not garbage. I shouldn't say that. If that's what you have, that's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I listened to them on CDs growing up and tapes, and it's awesome. The music's awesome. But when you hear these other ones, you can't unhear it. You can't unhear it. That brings me to the George Piros cut from 1977. Just as a real quick overview, this was a repress from 1977. You could tell it's a Piros cut. The brown is a like lighter kind of like sandy dirt brown color, where the Ludwig cut is darker. That's one way you can kind of notice. Another way is in the 77 issue. It's SD 19127 right here. That's on the Piros. And on the Ludwig, still on a bunch of others, but this is just one where you can kind of go. It's the original number, which was SD 8326. Another way you can head in that direction anyway. The real way to tell is in the dead wax, and that is, I'll see if I can show you guys the RL. Sometimes it's even hard for me to see because it is so small, but you can see it right here. See if you can get it. It's so small. I don't know if you will, but try to get the light to it right above this area here. RL, tiny, tiny, tiny RL. Some of them say Sterling RL, SS RL. And then in the Piros, it has G, like MP or something like that. GP for George Piros. It's in cursive writing. You can see that in the Piros cuts. All right, so that's like the physical differences. All right. Other than that, they're very similar. They're both gatefolds. The traditional gatefold. But I want to get down to the meat and potatoes of the sound. All right. Let's talk about the price differences real quick before we get into the sound. Price differences, I guess that's a better place to start. The price differences here for a Piros cut. For reference, I paid $54 for this. It's a VG Plus copy. And I paid $150 for this, which is $160 for this, which is a VG copy. It would be a little higher, but it does have a skip in it. I pointed it out in the last video. It has an unavoidable mark on it that skips and it can't track over it. on what is and what should never be, I think it is. And so that is why this is a VG. Other than that, though, this is a fantastic. It's that one little skip. You gotta get over it. But it's just to have an RL is very cool, and it's a great sounding RL. This is a fantastic version. Other than that skip. So, and my like I said, the Piros cut that I have is a VG Plus. Really nice copy, clean copy. Sounds really great. Okay, let's get into this. I'm just going by my listening experience. I'm not trying to sit down. This is for fun. This is my ears, my system, what I'm experiencing listening to these records. I have, for those who are interested, I have a Galleon TA75 amplifier by Thomas and Stereo. I have a Musical Paradise MK Mark III 701, all these numbers I don't freaking know, with hugely upgraded tubes and hugely upgraded capacitors. And I also have a Technics Vintage SL 1200 Mark, I don't know, 7 or something like that, vintage one, with a modified Denon cartridge, moving coil. Anyway, that's the gear if you care about that kind of thing. That's what I'm listening to through hugely upgraded Boston Acoustic T1000 vintage tower speakers. That's my setup. There you go. For those who care. Here we are. These, I'm gonna give you the cart in front of the horse a little bit, and I don't mind doing this. These are not worlds apart, guys. These are not worlds apart. Is there a difference? Yes. Yes, there is a difference. 100%. Let's start with the Piros cut. The Piros cut is rocking. It's still very dynamic. The bass is super full on the Piros cut. Super, super full. And that really lends itself to supporting the other stuff going on with Bonham and Jimmy Page. It's clear, awesome separation, awesome soundstage. The highs are defined. Bonham's drums, the solo on Moby Dick is unbelievable. Just the toms over here bouncing with the kick and the hat and the ride. It's all there, super defined. Just a light years better than the BS run-of-the-mill cut from Zeppelin 2. How much better is mind-blowing, really, to be honest, for both of these records, but the Piros especially. Where this record suffers is the wrong word, but just maybe falls a little short, is there's a little bit more, I guess I would call it dynamic separation in the Ludwig cut. And that lends itself to like this power that the Ludwig cut has, right? It's this clear openness in the stage that is just like not limited in any way. And the Piros cut is not overly limited. I'm just saying it in comparison. It feels maybe there's a touch more, maybe it's the generation of tape that was used, or the tape was a little more played by the time it got to Piros in 77, because you're talking, 69 to 77. Maybe it had been run a few times. I don't really know the reason, but, or even just the EQs or whatever. But the Piros cut is a touch more inside the soundstage of the Ludwig, and a touch more, compressed is the wrong word, but a touch more just like limited as far as the dynamic range across the whole spectrum, right? And there's a touch of a veiled voice thing. Veiled is the wrong word. There's a touch more recessed veil with Plant's vocals, just in comparison to the Ludwig. It's really close, guys, but there is a difference into my ears where Plant's vocals are, I would want them here, and they're just a touch further back, right? The music is just enveloping him a little more on the Piros cut than it is in the Ludwig cut. But other than that, I'm going to tell you right now, for $54, that's what I paid for it at a record store. I could not be more thrilled with it. It's awesome. The Piros cut is fan-freaking-tastic. I put that on. I've been with them for a few weeks now, these records, but I put the Piros one on first just because I wanted to hear that first. I wanted to get that done. I could wait for the Ludwig. So I put on the Piros cut first, and I had decent hopes, but the other one sounds so awful that I was like, how much better can it be? You know, everyone talks about the Ludwig, blah, blah, blah. The Piros cut's great. You would not be disappointed if you have this in your collection or if you're looking to add one, a great sounding Zeppelin 2. You can't go wrong. You will not be disappointed. The Piros cut is fantastic. I think $54 is probably the ballpark for a VG Plus copy-ish. You might pay more, you might pay less, but that's a good sort of middle barometer anyway. That's what I paid in a store that knew what they had. It was labeled as a Piros cut, so that's why it was $54. So that's the Piros cut. Let's talk about the Ludwig. I have a specialty pressing RL. It's really great, guys. It's really great. Some of you that may have this in your collection already know this. Some of you that don't may say, why the hell would you pay those kind of prices for it? And yeah, I get it. But, you know, that's all individual because you can pay whatever you want for whatever you want. And it's the great thing about doing what you want in this hobby. There's no right or wrong. You do you. And don't let anyone tell you doing you is wrong. It's all good, no matter what it is. So anyway, the RL. It's the way it's supposed to sound. It's the way it was meant to sound. It's the way you want to hear Led Zeppelin. It's raw. It's clear. It's defined. It's open. It is dynamic as hell. It is, I think when people say the loud cut, I think that's actually selling it a little short because it's not just loud. It's really not. It's dynamic. It's full range. Plant's voice is right where you want it. Totally locked, like out in front, in the middle there. John Paul Jones's bass, it has this like a little bit more definition. Piros's bass is big and kind of like wide, right? Like if you could see the sound wave, I would imagine it being like a big sort of rounder thing, right? But in the RL, it's a bit more defined. The dynamic range is still there, but it's just a little bit more defined, a little bit cleaner. And it's awesome. It really is awesome. The guitars, you can hear more of the reverb on the guitars and on the vocals and those upper mid-range instrument things. You can hear more of the reverb and the decays and things like that on the RL cut. It's just more organic. It's more open. It's a little less compression, a little less limiting. And the RL is really special. Now, is it worth the several $100s? Only you're the judge of that and what you want to spend. I felt like the $160 I spent on it, I was good with it for a couple of reasons. Number one, where I am in Boston area, I have not come across a lot of RLs in person. I haven't. And so I saw one and I was excited to see one. He was very honest. This was at Olympic Records in Providence, like I said. Kevin, great guy, was super honest with me. He goes, there's a skip on this part. She'll be right where it was. He played it for me in the store. He was super cool. So I knew what I was getting. And, they're findable out there. There's a lot that got released. I don't know how many, but it was a lot. It wasn't like 500 or something. There's a good amount. I think the prices are a little out of control. I was comfortable spending the $150, $160, but like spending $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, I don't know. That's a lot of freaking money. I will say it's definitely the best I've ever heard the record. It is better than the Piros cut. Is it, a few $100s or $100 better than the Piros cut? I don't know. Again, that's your call. The dynamic range was a bit better. The soundstage was a bit better. The bass was more defined. The dynamic range was more expansive and more ups, more downs, more decays, more details. So I think when you hear people say the loud cut, I think that's actually selling it short. I think that it's really should be called like the dynamic cut or something like that, because it is just more dynamic, and loudness maybe is a part of that. But the Piros cut is loud too. It's great, and maybe they call it the loud cut because the original one that they released right after the in '69, right after the RL was pulled, is so veiled and so quiet and like inside that they probably were like, people probably like, yeah, this is louder. And it is, but it's not like, that's not what I get from loudness is not what you get from these records. It's not, that's selling it short. It's dynamic range. And that's what you're hearing. So that's my spiel and I'm sticking to it. The RL is the winner. Is it the winner by much? Hell no. Find yourself a Piros cut and see if this is more of what you're looking for. Again, around $54. That's what I paid for mine for a VG Plus copy. The Piros cut is excellent, guys. It's excellent. You will be good if that's what your budget is. If you want to stretch it and do that, that's fine. Is the RL the next thing up? Yes, it is. 100%. Not even a question. Yes. But only you can judge if you want to pay those RL prices. Either way, you can keep digging for them because you can find both of these out there and you never know what you're going to come across. So dig for them. If you find a Zeppelin 2, look for the RL in the dead wax. It's really small. Bring your glasses if you're an old bastard like me. There's also the G and on the Piros, it's like a GMP or G something P in cursive writing. You can see the Piros from 77 is the year for that one. Keep an eye out. You can find them out there digging. And if you want to, know what you're getting and buy one of those, those are the prices that I paid for the copies that I paid. Both of them were worth it to me for what I paid. I am very happy to have both of these copies. And I am not disappointed in either one of them. They're fantastic records. RL is the slight winner here, for sure. I would say clear winner. But it's there is no slouch here with the Piros. So take what you will from that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful in some ways. Let me know if you have one of either one of these, if you're planning on getting one. And if you do get one, let me know. Tell me what you think. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.